Alright guys, Murray here with Murray's Mobile Mechanics, and welcome back to the channel. Today I got a 2009 Toyota Highlander, and it's a hybrid, and customer complaint is they have a hybrid check light on the dashboard. So let's check it out and then we dive into it. Alright guys, so this is the vehicle. We've already connected our scanner and we got some codes ready for us. We got P0A05 current, motor electronics coolant pump control circuit open. We got P0A93 current, inverter cooling system performance, and they should be the same. P0A05 history, motor electronics coolant pump control circuit open, and the other one is the same as well. P0A93 history, inverter cooling system performance. So right now the car is on, and you can see right there on the small screen. Let's see, check hybrid system, and it says stop the vehicle in a safe place immediately and contact the dealer. So let's dive into it and see what we got. So the car is on right now. So the other thing I'm suspecting, it could be the inverter pump, but let's go under the hood. We check out a few things. So the car is on right now. We should be hearing the pump, which is actually down there. See those shiny bolts? That's a coolant inverter pump, so we should hear that pump running, and then we should be seeing coolant to actually, circulate in this coolant reservoir, which I'm not seeing. Everything is still. So what I'm going to do right now is, first I'm going to actually see if I can command that pump to turn on with a scanner and see what we got. Alright guys, so our scanner is still connected and the car is still on. So we'll back off this page and then we'll go to active test. And then we'll go to activate water pump. We'll just go to all data. And then here we go. We can see we got what we need to do on this page right here. So you see we got activate water pump. Right now it's off. So let's press on and see if this pump will run. So you can see right now the pump is on, and this thing is actually just doing nothing. It's quiet. I don't hear sound. I don't see coolant circulating in this coolant reservoir, which tells me this pump is not good. Let's turn it off and let's try it one more time. I don't hear nothing. So it's on right now. Coolant is not circulating and it is quiet. So right now what we're going to do is let's test the fuses and see if we can find anything that can give us an idea as to why this pump is not coming on. Alright guys, so these are the two fuse boxes I have. I think there's one more right here, but this one says relay. So let's start with the fuses. We'll start by opening this cover and see if we can find anything that's written HVAC something, at least to give us an idea. So let me check it out and then I'll show you exactly what we should be looking out for. Alright guys, so in this one I looked and looked. I did not see anything written or showing any inverter pump or something like that. So let's take this other one off and let's check it out. It's upside down. Let's put it this way. And if you look close, we got the 15 amp fuse, which is inverter water pump right there. See that 15 amp inverter water pump? That's the one we are going to actually check to see if it is okay. So we'll keep this cover off, and then let me get my test light and then we check that 15 amp fuse. Alright guys, so I got my test light connected and let's test this 15 amp fuse. That's the one right there. That's the only 15 amp, I believe. The blue one, that one right there. So let's see if our test light actually works. I gotta find a good spot. So you can see our test light is on for this side. Let's check the other side and the other side as well. Let's confirm. Let's move to the other side. And our fuse is okay. So right now The only thing I can think of is I think that pump is short to ground inside, so we are going to drain the inverter coolant, and then we'll take that pump out and then test it, and then we see what we got. Alright guys, so right now we are at the bottom, and this is our drain plug for the inverter. We're going to drain the coolant from right there, and the pump itself is right there. That's the pump right there. There's a bracket, but I think the 3 bolts will take them off from the top, but we'll disconnect those coolant lines from the bottom. That's the best angle I can actually get. I don't want to take this bracket. If you want, you can take it out, but I think the pump is accessible right there. So let's drain the coolant and then we go from there. So I'm using a T55. Let me see if I can show it on camera. T55 to drain the coolant. This drain plug is super tight, so you have to use a bit of force. And you can see it comes off just like so. Alright guys, so that's our pump right there. So we have to take off that clamp and pull the hose out. There's another clamp up top right there. Let me see, you can see we got 2. That one I moved it a little bit, and then there's another one over there. There's that electrical plug-in. You're going to disconnect that and then take care of the pump. Alright guys, so here's the deal. So you can see I managed to get this hose off. I managed to take off the electrical connector right there. So I'm only remaining with the hose clamp right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the 3 10mm bolts. There should be one there, and one on the other side. We'll take them off from the top, and then we'll pull that hose together with the pump, and then we can actually disconnect that hose clamp. So we loosened all the 3 bolts. Let me see if I can fish one from the top so you can reach the bottom. So we got one out. This is the one. From the way these bolts came out, it tells me like this pump has been replaced before. So we got this one out, and then we should have another one on that side as well. So we got all the 3 bolts out, and this is our pump right here. So I'm gonna fish it from the top so that we can disconnect that hose clamp, and then we should be good. So this is the one right here. We'll take up that hose clamp, and then I think we'll see if we can test this pump and then test the new one and see what we got. It's just too difficult to test this one when it's at the bottom right there. Alright guys, so we got the pump out, so we're going to test it. It's got 4 wires. One is for the sensor and one is for the actually motor inside. So we are going to test it direct from the battery. We are going to use some alligator clips. So we'll connect this plug lead right there, and then we'll connect the red one just at the bottom of it. So let me untangle my alligator clip. This other one just comes to the bottom right there. So we'll connect them to the battery. Let me see if I can catch this on camera. Yeah, and then we'll connect our leads to the battery and see what we get from the old pump. So I don't know if you can hear that. It is spinning, but not very powerful. It is kind of spinning very weak. Let's try it one more time. So let's try the new pump and see what we get. Alright, so we got the new pump connected the same way. So let's try it and see the difference. So I don't know if you heard the difference. This new pump is pumping, you know, strongly. It's pumping fast than the old pump. So let's try it one more time. I hope the audio will catch that. So I believe that should be our issue, but again, we'll see. Let's put that pump in and see what we get. All right, so guys, I got the new pump, which is right here. That's the part number right there. So I'm going to install this pump off camera, and I hope that fixes the issue. All right, guys, so put the drain plug back on. We got our new pump on. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is actually erase the codes. I'll press yes, yes, and trouble codes are not detected anymore. So let's go and actually see if we can command the pump and see if we got anything. All right, guys, so we'll get away from this page. We'll go to active test, and then we'll go to the activate water pump. And if you remember earlier on, nothing was happening. So moment of truth, we'll press all data. And right now we are going to see if we can actually, let me put this side to side so that we are able to see exactly what's going on. So right now the pump is off, so we'll press on and let's see the activity in the coolant reservoir. You can see that. We'll turn it off. Once we turned it on, all the coolant went down. So our pump now is working. That's a sign. So let me fill up some more coolant and then we go from there. All right, guys, so I finished up everything and then try to start the vehicle, and this vehicle is not even running. You can see it is just not even running. So right now, let me go test the battery and see what we get. So I got my motor emitter right here. Let's see what we are going to get. Let me see if I can point it right there. So right now I'm touching my leads onto the battery terminals, and you can see we are getting 8. Let me see if we can actually show it better this way. Right now it's 0, 0. So this battery is very weak. So let me talk to the customer and hear what they say, and then we go from there. All right, guys, so we got the new battery in and I think the car is running okay. We got some activity. You can see coolant is actually circulating. We are bleeding the cooling system right now. Let me see if we can check out the bubbles. I know it's not visible on camera, but definitely we got activity. If you look inside there, there is movement. So right now, let me go ahead and run the vehicle, press on the gas to make the engine to run so that we can bleed the cooling system a little bit faster. All right, guys, so right now I'm at the bottom and actually I can hear the pump circulating coolant. I just don't know if the audio can pick that. So just not too sure if the audio will pick that, but definitely our pump is working. So let's go up top and see if we got any movement in the coolant reservoir. So I don't know if you're able to see, we got movement in the coolant reservoir. Let me see if I can get closer and let me get a clear shot by turning this thing upside down so that you see what I'm talking about. You see right there, which means our pump is working. We are bleeding the cooling system. That's the best shot that I could get. So pretty much we just let it bleed all the bubbles out and then we should be good from there. All right, guys, so now you should have a better view. That time the level was on the low side, but I put it up to full, so you can see our pump is running. and you can see the movement of coolant in the reservoir right there. So right now we are just running it to bleed all the air out of the system, and then we should be good. So pretty much I'll just wait for it to actually clear, take all the bubbles out, and then we should be good from there. Alright guys, so we got the new pump in. This is the old one. So after testing, definitely it actually pinpointed that the pump is bad. So you can see we got the new pump located down there, and then you can actually feel the pressure of coolant circulating in the hoses. And then we filled up the vehicle with fresh coolant. You can see we got action in the coolant reservoir. You can see that movement right there. That's telling us that the pump is doing its job. Earlier on, this thing was actually just no movement, no nothing. So after testing, definitely that's actually was the issue. So after doing all that, we ended up actually needing a battery because the car would not start. So we tested the battery. It was actually below 8 volts. No bueno. So right now we got a new battery. Car is on, action in the coolant reservoir, and actually everything is working perfectly fine. So pretty much on a 2009 Toyota Highlander Hybrid, that's how you take care of P0A05 and P0A93. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and I hope it helps.